So in this video, I'd like to show you how to use the new commander mode. One of the first things players appear to want to try is to place their own FOB. So in order to do that, first you have to apply for commander, which you can do at this time. Then inside the tent, there are 3 new stations: logistics, operations, combat support. So the first thing I want to use is combat support. Combat support is about giving other player squads orders. Let's say I want to place an FOB over here. So right click, faction command, establish base, create objective, and then you see the green cursor. If I left click, I'm going to place the marker for that. And there's a limit though. If I get too close to a harbor base, or any of my own bases, or a purple town, then it turns red. That means you can't place it too close to those. So I'm going to place it here in Vernon. Left click. Now this marker appears, and now player can drive there with a construction truck and place an FOB. And that FOB can be used as it was previously in conflict. You can build things and armories. So now if you look at the map, there are a few things different now. Notice there are far fewer cap areas. So if you look at, for example, Levy Village is completely gone. And the other new thing is that every coastal cap zone has the name harbor above the code name. And that's a new concept in conflict, which is the source bases. A source base is a coastal harbor area, also or an airport. That's an area where the game every 5 minutes places an amount of supplies. So to show you that, I'm going to leave that and go to the logistics station. Open it. Now the map opens again. Now if I mouse over the harbor that I own, see it says next supply shipment ETA 2 minutes. And I think it refreshes every 5 minutes. And it places supplies. And here's the big change in conflicts. Those supplies, they don't get automatically transmitted to other bases just because they have radio connection. Those supplies will only get to other bases if somebody physically gets them there. Which means you can get a truck, drive them there like before, or you can use the new AI truck drivers in order to spawn them. They're called, I think they're called transport teams. You have to go to place living quarters. Then you can recruit transport team, and that's a 2-man squad. Okay, I have to go back to the logistics screen. Now on the top left, you see the little car symbol. You click on that, and you see the logistics team that your team has. I have one team. It's called Atlas Red 1. Activity, destination, condition, source base, Point Mississippi. So let's say if I want to get supplies from harbor to another place, then I can select the source base, Point Mississippi, which I already have selected. And then it will automatically pick the destination based on various logistical settings. And when a source base is selected, the AI will automatically try to find a supply truck in the proximity. And then it will drive to the base, pick up the supplies, and drive it to the destination. Now the cool thing is that the AI actually physically tries to drive it, so it's not transmitted. It's physical to characters getting into a truck and driving there. Now they tend to get stuck often. So if they had a truck placed somewhere here, and it took them quite some time to get out because they kept ramming into that rock over here. However, the cool thing is they try to get over it, and after 5 seconds, when they get stuck, they try to correct, which means they go into reverse, drive back a few meters, change the course slightly, and try to get around it. And after some attempts, they actually get out of most obstacles to get into. And the other cool thing is if they get stuck for too long, or I think they get attacked, or something happens to the truck, they jump out of the truck, and then they yell some command, and then an objective is auto-generated to help that team. You can still get logistics from the main base. The baseline is, I think, +10. I think it's every 5 seconds. And if you cap more flags that are connected to the base, you get +20, +30, and so forth. However, the second important thing here is that your own custom-built bases, which this one I built myself, and capped areas, they appear to not get any automated supplies from the radio network, which means all the frontline and custom bases, they have to be manually supplied by AI or by player trucks. And now to get back to logistics. So if you see a destination, like how can you control where they're going to drive? So we're currently in the logistics screen. Now let's say I want to prioritize this base over here, over this one. So I'm going to select it. And you have two settings. You have priority and supply limit. Now, supply limit is the minimum amount of supplies this base should have. If it goes below that, then the AI is triggered to deliver something to it. And priority means how much this base should be prioritized. And lower number means higher priority. So I put this to 1 and 500. And I put the environment base to something lower and priority 2. Okay, now the third station is operations. Now, you can still use this physical object to normally build like a normal character, like with start building. However, if you hit command, you also get the operations button. It's a bit different than normal building. Click operations, then the map opens again. But the cool thing is here, you can access any base that you own, any FOB, and remote build from here. So let's say I want to build at that forward base. Press F. See, now I got the camera from that base. Now I can technically not building, you're just commanding the building to be placed, and then somebody has still to shovel it to place it.